Well, it's a great pleasure to be here with
Thanks.
Benedict Cumberbatch. Tell us something about Stephen Strange, Doctor Strange.
So he's this man who goes on this journey in this origin film from being a neurosurgeon to a superhero and a sorcerer at that. And it's this lovely character arc, which was allure enough for me as an actor to want to play him between the man you meet at the beginning who's in his own gilded cage, who's arrogant but brilliant but lonely and doing it for his own self-betterment, to being a hero who chooses a lonely, a difficult path in order to help others and realizes it's not all about him. And in between you have the most fantastic, dark, beautiful and profound and humorous journey to get between those two places.
And this is one of the most interesting things of this movie. There is a great irony.
Yeah, and I was really keen on that because the original material is very earnest, and you meet him fully fledged as this very arrogant, misogynistic and rather obnoxiously confident man, and he's brilliant and he does fantastic things and the drawings are extraordinary and it's a rich character, but it was written in the 60s and there have been lots of derivatives since then, I feel. So nice to sort of bring him back to an area where he's a little more self-conscious, a little bit more able to fail. That was very important for me, and also for the whole thing not to take itself too seriously, to have there be a sense of irony and comedy in amongst the tragedy as well, and the moments of earnest action.
And I think Doctor Strange will become quite an important character in the Marvel universe.
I think he will. It's no secret that I'm in the next Avengers film, and I'm really looking forward to that. I can't say anything more about it than that, but you know, he's defending the realm of the Avengers against other dimensional threats. He has a very important role to play in that alone. So we'll see how that kind of transpires and where it takes him.
Maybe one day we will see the Defenders, but you can tell me nothing.
I can't, I'm afraid, sorry.
Well, Doctor Strange has this ability to manage with time.
Yes.
And just like you in the last 2 years.
Yeah, it does seem like I crammed a bit in, but yeah, it's been an amazing couple of years. And unlike him, I wouldn't want to necessarily, well, there are obviously bits I maybe want to slow down. I find time does stretch, and it has done. It stretches and slows, and then also suddenly speeds up. It depends how busy you are, or what moments are happening in your life. And in my private life, of course, some wonderful things have happened, and in my public life, my work's been really thrilling and varied, and I count my blessings, but I'm really enjoying now. I think, unlike him, I wouldn't want to necessarily turn back time or forward time. I'm very happy with where I am now. So yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Rachel McAdams, first of all, may I say thank you? Wanna know why?
Oh, sure.
Because of About Time.
Oh.
That is one of my favorite movies.
Really?
And you were wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Richard Curtis is a very special man. He makes lovely movies, so I was very thankful to him to be a part of it.
Well, and you are now part of Doctor Strange, and talk us about your character, Christine.
So Christine is an emergency room surgeon. She, in a past life, was dating Doctor Strange, but now they are, friends and colleagues, and she has a great deal of respect for him and love for him, but wishes he kind of looked at medicine a little differently than he does right now. He's kind of, wrapped up in his ego and seeking fame and fortune, and has maybe lost his connection to why he became a doctor in the first place. So,
well, as we know, it's very easy to become part of the Marvel universe in a continued way. So I guess this is what you hope for your character.
I trust Marvel to, whatever they choose to do with this, and based on how successful it is or not, we'll see. It's exciting to think of where it might go.
I was working with Cumberbatch.
Oh, great. Amazing. Yeah, he's it was one of the reasons I wanted to do the film, was to get to work with him, because I think he really is kind of an everyman in a way, and there's so few of those left, really, and I think he can wear all kinds of hats, and he's such a chameleon. He really does melt into his character, and I know he had a lot of pressure on his shoulders to become the Doctor Strange that everyone was hoping for, and I think he exceeds the expectations.
Well, from Sherlock to another.
Yes.
Well, which is better, Robert Downey or Benedict
Oh.
Cumberbatch?
I mean, I'm going to give you a diplomatic answer, but it is because it's the truth. I think it's a testament to what extraordinary, clever, and creative actors they both are, that they, I mean, Sherlock Holmes has been done so many times. We've seen so many different incarnations, and yet they both seem to create their own very different versions that are both beloved. So, kudos to both of them.
Talking about directors, Scott Derrickson is a very talented director.
I really love to understand the director's vision. I feel like you kind of can't have enough conversations about what they're hoping for, looking for, what their sensibility is. So I think communication is huge, and you want to be able to trust each other and be able to take leaps and risks and fall flat on your face and know that, they'll come and pick you up and tell you that maybe that sucked, but that's okay. We'll get it on the next one or something.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Nice. Hello, Scott Derrickson.
How are you?
I'm fine. I was thinking since Sunday, I saw the movie Sunday,
Yeah.
If it fits more Magical Mystery Tour or Amalgam. What do you think?
Oh gosh, Magical Mystery Tour.
Yeah, that's true. Because it's psychedelic, but it's full of colors.
Yeah, that's
colors.
that's exactly right. So it's a little more pop than Pink Floyd.
And I love your view to the Marvel universe.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Well, what did you think when you wrote and then shoot the movie?
I mean, I thought that I had an opportunity to create something really cinematic, to create a film unlike anything that American cinema and Hollywood cinema really makes. I had a story that was calling for adventurous, progressive visuals and innovation, and a story that dealt in deep spiritual subjects about personal growth and trauma and time and death and these really significant subjects, and I had the Marvel Cinematic Universe to build upon, and I felt like that was all opportunity to make something bold and daring and original, and that's what we certainly set out to do.
A lot of people think that comics are something for youngsters, but it's not. We are talking about probably one of the most important form of pop culture of the 20th century.
Yeah, I think it's not only a very significant art form in its own right, but it's becoming one of the only forms of art where we're really passing down collective myths. Literature has become so spread out in terms of there are no books that everybody reads anymore. It's not like it was in bygone eras where there were certain classics that everybody knew and read. Journalism is, really spread out, and comics are a collective myth-telling, storytelling that I think we're in the middle of cinema history right now with these movies that have been made and continue to be made and continue to evolve. I feel privileged to play a part in that.
Well, there's something that I really appreciate in your work, so that is you are incredibly able to create a great climax in your movie. Mm-hmm. How you do this?
Well, you have to see and feel the movie first. If you don't see it clearly in your mind, and if you don't feel what it feels like, you can't do that. You can't make a movie with any kind of confidence. The movie will end up being something different than what you were expecting or intending. And a lot of it is that. A lot of it is just the discipline of knowing how every beat should play out, knowing what the tone should be, what it should feel like, and then figuring out how do I communicate that tone, what do I do to achieve that feeling in the audience. And the more controlled that is, I think, the better director you are.
So, are you ready for Doctor Strange 2?
I sure am. I would love to make Doctor Strange 2.
We hope so. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. That was a pleasure. Thank you.
Hi,
Very
Alessandro.
nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
And well, many people can think that having Tilda Swinton in a Marvel movie could be strange.
Really?
It's Doctor Strange, so I think it's quite normal.
I think it's quite normal. We know each other very well, obviously.
So how has been this first experience?
Really delightful, just a dream. I mean, it's such a passionate group of people, that studio, led by Kevin Feige, who's such a super fan, and everybody who works at Marvel is a fan. You know, they're not just, you know, professionals doing a job. They are all crazy about Marvel and the world of Marvel. And I think that's one of the reasons that fans can feel so confident with their beloved books being made into films by this studio, because they're made by themselves, you know.
Well, actually, we are talking about probably one of the most important form of pop art
Absolutely,
of the century.
Absolutely.
Do you agree about this?
Completely. And as a cineast, I've always seen, well, particularly over the last few years, ever since Iron Man, really, that there's something that Marvel are doing, which is making it lively for everybody, but particularly a younger generation of cinema lovers, when we are getting bigger and bigger domestic screens and people are watching their films on their laptops, to go into the cinema with strangers, in the dark, and watch a big immersive film. That's wonderful, you know, that they are still keeping that alive.
May I ask you something? Just you work a lot with Luca Guadagnino.
Yeah, I do.
And actually, we went to university together.
No,
so
really?
I'm really happy to meet you. I know that you will work with him
next
in a while.
week.
Next
week. Yeah.
Okay.
I actually go on Thursday to start
that's
a new
great.
one.
The remake of Suspiria. We're talking
Well,
about this?
it's not a remake. It's
I know.
it's a cover.
It's a cover. Okay. So, are you excited about this?
Very, very. We've been talking about it for a long time.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Alessandro.